First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zheng Kong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dubden Tarchi. Homage to the main deity of Homa today, Mahotara Heruka. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the Adharma Buddha. And homage to the peaceful deities and the wrathful deities, the 100 peaceful and wrathful deities. Simo, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma assistants, all disciples present here and over the webcast, and our participating VIPs today are completely the same as last night, with one addition or two. Two more and one less. Accountant to Buddha School, Dharma Sister Teresa and her husband Larry. Welcome. Producers for the Kenny Tensang Shinton from CTI TV Taiwan, Dharma Sister Rebecca Xiaji, Dr. Sulin, and Dr. Zhang, and the rep to the council from Taipei City, Dharma Sister Chie Huilin, the daughter of former council from Kaohsiung City, Dharma Sister Wu Nixian, and Dr. Gao. Good afternoon, everybody. How do you do? And all the different greetings, greetings in different languages. Now I would like to announce for next Sunday, September 3rd, at 3 p.m. the Homa will be the Black Face Golden Mother. Black Face Golden Mother. And the mantra, Om Jin Ha Ha He Hom Pe. The Black Face Golden Mother. And today we perform Mahotara Heruka Homa. And this deity was an emanation from Adharma Buddha, the primordial Buddha. And what's most important about him is that each of his hands is holding a mirror, and he has many hands. So Mahotara Heruka is emanated from the primordial Buddha. He has 21 faces, 42 arms, and 8 legs. And each of the hands is holding mirrors with 42 peaceful deities, including the primordial Buddha and the Mahaswara Buddha Mother, the 5 Buddhas, the 5 Buddha Mothers, the 8 great Bodhisattvas and the 8 great Bodhisattvas consort, the 4 wisdom kings and the 4 wisdom kings wrathful queens, and 6 the able munis. And the Buddha Mother has 9 faces, 18 arms and 4 legs. And the 2 hands are holding Kartika and skull cup, and the other hands are also holding bright mirrors. And she appears in a wrathful form with the beast face. So the peaceful and the wrathful deities. So our Dharma Buddha, Mahotara Herukas, and 100 peaceful and wrathful deities all descended. So there are 42 peaceful deities and 58 wrathful deities. 42 peaceful deities and 58 wrathful deities. I remember my guru told me that this deity, the Mahotara Heruka, and the primordial Buddha, Adharma Buddha, symbolize the whole universe. And a human being, when they are about to leave the Saha world, there would be 2 primordial rays of lights, 2 chances of salvation for a very short time. At the moment of death, all of a sudden, you would see a clear, cloudless sky appearing, emitting bright and strong light, very strong and bright light. And at that time, you have to be ready to merge with the light. That's the first salvation. And then another chance of salvation, the same one. Clear, cloudless sky, and all of a sudden a bright light. And at that time, at that moment, you have to merge into it. If you miss these 2 chances, then the peaceful deities will appear. What are the peaceful deities? They are with kind and compassionate faces, in a state of meditation. They are called the peaceful deities. When a peaceful deity appears, you have to merge into him or her right away. If you don't, then the wrathful deities will appear. The wrathful deities are like the 5 Herukas, the 8 Vidyarajas or wisdom kings will appear. When the Herukas and wisdom kings appear and you don't merge with them, then the last and the 5th chance would be the deities with both peacefulness and wrathfulness. So peaceful and wrathful deity. And when this deity appears and you don't merge with them, then you have lost the chance to be reborn into the Buddha lands, and you have to be reincarnated in the 6 rebirth realms. That's what my guru taught me. So these 5 appearances you have to remember. So the primordial lights twice, and the peaceful deity once, the wrathful deity once, and the peaceful and wrathful deity once. So for a total of 5 chances. And if you are incapable of merging with these lights and these deities, then you should be ready for 6 rebirth rounds. So this is a very important path instruction, because every person, as we are about to die, at the moment of death, they would encounter these 5 appearances of 5 phenomena. Typically speaking, it's very difficult to merge with the primordial lights, because without these instructions you will not know how to merge with them, because the light is very bright and very strong that it would scare you. So that's my guru's explanation and instruction. Twice of the primordial lights, and then the peaceful deity, which is your yidam or personal deity that you typically practice during your lifetime. And the peaceful deity will appear, and still if you're incapable to merge with it, then that would be the wrathful deity, and yet you don't know how to merge with him, and then the peaceful and wrathful deity will appear. So both peaceful and wrathful. So which deities will there be? There's one that would symbolize the both peaceful and wrathful deity, and that's Guru Gule, Buddha Mother. Her face is very fierce, but amidst her wrathfulness there is also smile. So this deity is called both peaceful and wrathful. And if you still incapable of merging with her or with the deity, then you are ready to be reborn into the either heavenly realm, Asura heaven, human realm, animal, hungry goose, and hell, in one of the 6 rebirth realms, reincarnated. I have once said that through ex-Bardo deliverance, 80% of them entered into the XX Fu or XX Hall. And in my merit dedication earlier, those spirits that were at the XX Fu, I prayed to Mahatara Heruka to deliver them from XX Fu. And then they would follow their own karma and karmic retributions. And some that are destined to be reborn in the Buddha lands or in the 6 rebirth realms or reincarnated, or there's some that are destined to stay in the ghostly realm and they would stay there. So they would be reborn according to their own karma. And the mudra for this deity is this. This means from many to become one, and from one to become zero, to return to zero, and in zero you generate bodhicitta and you would become a bodhisattva. And if zero enters into nirvana completely, you become a Buddha. So from many to become one. This is the mudra, the meaning of this mudra. And that's how Mahatara Heruka is. And the mantra. You can chant it with one home or two homes. Om Pecha Jota Mahase Siri Haruka Hom Hom Pe. The mantra is very powerful. And just now I formed the mudras, and among them there was also blessings for all participants, so that all their sicknesses can be eradicated. I remember at the Memorial Park, the CKS Hall, there was someone that had frozen fingers, like the fingers could not be separated. This is just one example. So the thumb, this is like an example, the thumb and the index finger together cannot be separated for many years. And through the Mahottara Heruka's mantra recitation, and she visualized her hand, and then they separate. There were many such miracles, many growths, tumors, that amidst the Mahottara mantra chanting, the tumors disappear, and cancer, and all of a sudden that they had a high index numbers for the cancer, and then after participating in the ceremony, the cancer score is the same as normal person. It's the same as the cancer is being cured. Among our reference, there was one who especially expressed her gratitude. I don't know if she's here today or not. She had a frequent urination when she was attending the Buddhist school. When she felt the urge that there was quite a distance between the classrooms to the toilets, and halfway she already urinated. It was a really bad case for a young nun. When she was studying at the Buddhist school, whenever she had the urge, she could not hold it at all, and on the way to the toilet, she already urinated all over the ground. She couldn't hold it all the way to the restrooms. And she had this problem all the time, frequently, so that whenever she felt the urge, then she would wet her pants and lama skirts and everywhere. She did not visualize anything. She just attended the Mahottara Heruka ceremony. And from the ceremony, all her symptoms of the frequent or urination or unable to hold the urine was completely gone. She's in her 40s, and it's been for many years, almost 10 years. And then by attending the ceremony once, it's completely gone. And she was also very, very curious. Why? How come? At Reverend Yenchen, now at Hong Kong, there was a huge growth right here that you can even tell through the Lama's shirt. And when she attended the ceremony, she had 4 tumors on her hand. So one hand holding this tumor, and then the other hand holding the other tumor, and then visualize one more tumor, and these 3 disappeared, and the one that she did not visualize stayed, because she could only visualize one tumor growth. So one hand touched one tumor, the other hand touched the other tumor, and she visualized one tumor, and she could not visualize the other tumor. So that 4th tumor was still there, but it had decreased in size. So that this disappearance of tumors have happened. And I also said there was a bus driving by. He was not a true Buddha disciple. And the mantra chanting, I felt that this mantra chanting, Mahotara mantra chanting and Mahabala mantra chanting are very nice. And the Vaitara mantra chanting was also nice. And he had a tumor on his neck, and in the morning as he was shaving, the tumor was there, the growth was there. On the bus, the tumor was there. When he heard the mantra chanting, he felt warmth all over his body. When he got to the hospital and the doctor examined him and asked, so where had the growth gone? And then he looked at himself in the mirror and it's gone. So just by driving by. So I hope today all of you and anyone on the webcast and anyone hearing this mantra chanting, I hope that all of their illnesses and sicknesses be completely eradicated. And I have talked about Mahotara Heruka before. And the 6th syllable is Hom, the mudra is this, the mantra. Om Guru Lien Sung Siddhi Hom, Om Pecha Choda Mahasya Siri Heruka Hom Hom Pe. And please remember his appearance, and his Vajra name is that eyes all over his body. Eyes all over his body. So that symbolizes like the skin pores, our skin pores, like eyes on all of our skin pores. If you can visualize there are eyes on all your skin pores, then especially when the eyes can emit light, then you're also eyes all over your body. So the look of this deity, is it this deity? So he has his certain look. So with his look, mantra and mudra, then you can perform his Dharma practice. When he descends and in spiritual union with you, then you're guaranteed to be reborn into the Buddha land. And even more, you can become a Buddha. So today, let's talk more about Lamdre. And today, sun. How do I pronounce this word? Nuan. The three warmth appearances. The three warmth appearances. Divided into three, the warmth appearance of pre-practice. Let me talk about this. Actually, this is talking about meditation. So the warmth appearance of pre-practice. Every time when we sit in meditation, we start to have thoughts appearing. The appearance of these thoughts and one by one, you try to understand the before and after the thought. Because when you want to meditate, you want to forget about everything. You want to have no thoughts. If you can have no thoughts, then you can enter into the empty nature. Then you have no mind of discernments. Then you enter into the empty nature. Then you can merge with the space. In meditation, we strive for no thoughts, but at first there would be a thought appearing. And this is called the warmth appearance of pre-practice. At the beginning of the practice. And for us, we call it just useless thoughts. And you should just try to discard them. But the teachings in Lamdre is different. When you have a random thought, you remember it. Why did it appear? There must be a cause, and there must be its result. Think about it. Where did this random thought come from? That in your thinking process, you think, where did this random thought come from? And this process is like a practice at the beginning of your meditation, so it's become useful. And most, we just call it that, oh, this is just too much thoughts, and you try to discard it. But instead, you think, why did the random thought appear to me? And then you try to transform and discard it. Then in the future, the random thought will not appear again. So you make the random thoughts to make the random thoughts to be beneficial to your practice. Typically speaking, when a random thought appears, you would say pay and to cut it off. But today, the teaching of Lamdre is different. When a random thought appears, then you need to think, what reason did this random thought come? And then when you eliminate that, then the random thoughts will not appear again. So it's become the warmth appearance at the beginning of the practice. So it is beneficial to the practice. So this is very unique and special. If you have not learned Lamdre yourself, it's impossible to teach it. Anyone that have not practiced Lamdre, it's impossible for him to teach it. Is there a person that can sit right away and completely empty and enter into the space and forgetful about everything? Anyone is capable to do that. As soon as you meditate, you have no thoughts whatsoever. Anyone? Yan Wang? You always close your eyes and sit. You know, even like after dinner, you always sit and close your eyes. So are you sitting in forgetfulness? Are you in the state of no thoughts, or do you still have thoughts, running thoughts? I have thought of light. Even that is not right, because the light appears by itself naturally. You don't think of it. So whatever thoughts is not allowed. Whether it's good thought or bad thought, none is allowed. There was one person, as soon as he sits, he could enter into the space and completely sit in forgetfulness. And who was that? Grandma said, no. That's wrong. That's X, the ghost witch. 20 years ago, from her talk transcription from 1998, from her Dharma talk, it was mentioned that Sakyamuni Buddha wanted something from her. Give me your things. And she immediately and she said she rose to the space and merged with the space and sitting in forgetfulness. And she had nothing to expect, nothing to wish for. So Sakyamuni Buddha could not take anything because I had nothing, she said. It was written in her transcription book. She rose to the sky and had nothing. And Amitabha Buddha appeared and also told her, asked her, give me your things. And immediately she sat in forgetfulness. She had nothing. She forgot about everything. And she entered into empty nature. So, under the heaven, there was only one person that could do that. And that was the ghost witch, the X. 20 years ago, she already had attainment, not me. So she was incredible. Anybody else that could do that? Other than X? I also not able. I trained in Lamdre for a long time. When a random thought appears, you know, what does Grandmaster like most? I forgot. How do I call that? Beautiful girls, little girls, like Sheng-Yen from America, Ping and Yi Ting from Taiwan, and Li Qi from Malaysia. And who's the one from Hong Kong? What's her name? Li Qian. And many more little girls like Sheng-Yen who are very cute. So when I enter into meditation, that my little girlfriends would appear, and I would be very pleased because you like something, and also things that you dislike would appear. Also your worries, your suffering, your misery will appear, your loved ones, your enemies. When you sit in meditation, they all appear. So you should start thinking about the cause and effect of them. What is it? And you need to resolve the cause and effects. Why did it happen? And once you resolve them, then you have no thoughts. Because the state of no thoughts is the true Buddha treasure. If you can be single-minded, one-pointed, that's the point of Mahatara Heruka. That's already very good, and that is Samadhi. If you can be single-minded, one-pointed, then there would be Samadhi. And from this one-pointedness, you enter into the eyes of the universe. When you enter into the circle of the universe, then you return to zero. One returns to zero, and zero returns to the way or Tao, or the path. So this is said in Lamdre, that you have attained the Tao, or the path, or the way. And for X, 20 years ago, she already attained the Tao. So that's why Sakyamuni Buddha was together with her, Amitabha Buddha was together, and Medicine Buddha came without her invocation and had dialogues with her. So in each of the articles, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas had dialogues with her, and she traveled out of her body and traveled all over the places with Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and she always said that she did not want to return to the human world. She wanted to stay there. She had no wishes, no expectations, nothing to ask for. But the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas always told her, you still have some duties and you have to go back. It's always the same in each of her articles. With my two eyes, with good eyesight, I must have read it correctly. That Sakyamuni Buddha appeared talking to her, Amitabha Buddha appeared talking to her, and Medicine Buddha appeared without her invocation. Wow. But I noticed when a painter painted a tiger, and then you painted the softballs, and that's called bullshit, nonsense. They were all fabricated. They were all lies. That all the disciples were turning topsy-turvy. Where's Gu Yin? Gu Yin's there. And he said since 1994, he's been following X for the most years. Reverend Lien Kai and Gu Yin. X said they were her sons from the past life. And Gu Yin had said that everything she said were lies. And Gu Yin had followed her for the longest time. And also Shiachi, Rebecca Shiachi, followed her for over 10 years at least. And you also said, which I remember clearly, that X had double personality, two faces. Her Dharma talk is one case, and her actions is another stories. And Master Lian Zi, meaning purple, there are many purple flowers here. Master Lian Zi also said her specialty is lying. Lying. And Reverend Sheng-Yen, which is the earliest reverend that followed her from Calgary, had followed her longest. She also said that X is the greatest liar of the century. I didn't say that. It's really severe. They said it. That's why I repeated it here. Reverend Sheng-Yen had said that she's the greatest liar of the century. And there was another reverend that's secret, and she said, she loves fame and money. She counts her money until she has crumbs in her hands. That's X. And Lian Hua Chunhui also said that. Where is she? Lian Hua Chunhui also said, the CEO of that place, Dharma Sister Guan. X wanted to fire her. She didn't say anything, but she asked Chun Fei to do it. And Chun Fei told me. And on the plane, from taking off until landing, I don't know for how long. It must take some time. It must take a long time. And all the way, they sat together. And at that time, Chun Fei was her attendant. And she criticized and reprimanded Grandmaster from beginning to end. At that time, I have never mentioned her at all. And X did that. And yet she called herself, she could sit in forgetfulness, that she had nothing to ask for. But let me tell you one thing. That she went to mainland China and she asked her name to be included and spent a lot of money to print the books. So she's one of the famed people of China. And she also used her connection to get a peace prize of Japan. So she went to China with Gu Yin to look for some souvenirs and prices and stocks. So she did all those to get some business. And how could this kind of person set in forgetfulness that she asked for nothing, that she has nothing, two empty hands, that she said she didn't have anything. Sakyamuni Buddha and Amitabha wanted something. And she said that I was sitting in forgetfulness, I have nothing. And she traveled out of her body to the Mahatwin Lotus Ponds to have a meeting with Grand Master several times. But I never saw her. How could we have meeting? So that's a lie. I was seated there. She didn't come. There was no meetings. She always said that she had meetings with Grandmaster, and Grandmaster despised meetings. I don't like meetings. We've never had meetings. They were all lies. So think about it. So many thoughts, random thoughts, so many names that she wants. That 3 directors asked me if she donated for charities, and then if the CDs don't give her any recognition or certificate, then she always asks the directors to get the prize or the recognition. So why do you want those? Why do you need to have recognition? Because you like the name, you like the fame. How could someone that likes name and money so much can have nothing to ask? So these 3 directors should become my witness, because they wrote it in their questions. Because every time after she donates to charities, she always asks the directors to go to the city hall to ask for recognitions or certificates. In the future, there's no need to go to the city hall. We can just print them yourself. You want a Peace Prize? We can give you the Peace Prize of True Buddha School. You want Nobel Prize? We cannot say Nobel. That's copyrighted. We'll just call it differently, no power. It's not bad. 1 word difference. And we just give it to her because she loves all that names and benefits. Whatever she wants, we'll just give it to her. So the warmth appearance at the beginning of the practice. When you sit, you have all running thoughts. How could you be sitting in forgetfulness? What is this sitting in forgetfulness? I only mention a few people only. There was a reverend that's now still with her that told me, using a secret channel, she loved name and money. That's what she liked most. How can someone like that has nothing to ask for? So in her meditation, she must have lots of random thoughts, running thoughts. Perhaps all those prizes who I have taken photo with, the wife of the president of Panama. There was such a glory. She makes an effort to have her picture taken with the important figures, and she wanted to be included in the famous people of China in that book. So Master Lian Wen, did you see the? How big is it?
1面
One page.
这一本这么大，很重哦，
The book is that big,
这么厚，有多少人？
that thick. How many people in there?
里面有多少人？
How many people included in the book?
有他的相片在里面。
There was her picture.
哎，他是中国大陆的名人呢。
So she's the famous people from China.
还有，
You know, you got that by giving money
也不是随便人花钱就
and
有。
printed, and not just anybody. You have to have your connections,
做了什么才能够登上
and
中国大陆的
what
这个名人
that you did something in order to be included in the famous people of
无
China.
所求吗？
So someone with such agendas, could that
应该
be
是杂念
someone
纷
with
飞
nothing to ask?
对不对？
They must have lots of thoughts going on in her mind.
7岁的小孙女问阿公
The 7-year-old granddaughter asked the
穿迷你
grandpa,
裙会影响健康吗？
wearing
是
miniskirt,
真的吗？
does it affect health? Is that true?
这个是真的。
And grandpa
它
said,
的迷你
yes,
裙会
it's
影
true.
响健康
That wearing miniskirt
这个
can
阿公
affect
对
your
他
health.
孙女讲，你看看，
And the
坐在
grandpa
我对面
said,
的那个穿迷你裙的小姐，
look at that
她只要
young
轻轻地
lady
换一个姿势，我的
wearing
血
the
压立
miniskirt.
刻就高上去。
You know, when she changed her position, my blood pressure
你
would
看啊，
rise.
这么老的
See,
老人家当阿公的，
such an old
看到
grandpa
穿迷你裙的小姐，
seeing
稍
a
微
young
小动一
lady
动换一个姿势，
in miniskirt,
血压就上升。
when her legs are moving or changing positions,
怎么不
his
会有
blood
杂念
pressure
呢？
rises already. How could one
这个就是
has no
纯
thoughts
情养
at
家
all?
你
So
必
this
须
is
要
the warm
学释迦牟尼
appearance
佛的白骨
at the
观啊
beginning of the
像
practice.
两只
So
白
you
骨
need to
从那个迷
train
你裙里面
in
露
the
出来
white bones practice of
10个爪
Sakyamuni Buddha.
10个爪，
So,
白
like
骨观才
two
去年的父亲节
sticks
因
of
为太忙
bones and
没能够
5
陪父亲吃
finger
饭。
bones. So on Father's Day, I was very busy and I couldn't accompany Dad for dinner. So I called a girl to accompany him. And this year, for Father's Day, he said, I want to celebrate Father's Day. So that's why I called all my siblings and accompanied Dad for dinner. And yet Dad didn't want to sit. And he said, there's no need to be so complicated. Just be as simple as last year. See? Look at this old man. They have all these thoughts. And they have dirty thoughts. That's not talking about myself. Dad said, Mom's not home today. Dad will make dinner. And son said, no need. I'll eat at my classmates. And then I'll bring a takeout for you. Oh, the son is really filial. And Dad said, oh, that's impolite if someone knows. It's okay. I'll just tell them that I'm taking a doggy bag, like for my dog. So how many worries we have with our clothing, eating, living, transportation. That's all daily lives. If you can't sleep, then you're worried. If you sleep too much, you're worried. If you sleep late, you're worried. And if you sleep like a dead person, you're also worried. Someone, the chubby. Simu's nickname in the past was called the fat girl. When Simu was young, was like Qie Huiling. We called her the fat girl. Do you believe it? It's true. Her nickname was the fat girl. There was a fat girl that asked a pretty girl, "What kind of man do you like?" And the pretty girl said, "Are you crazy? You're asking me? And how about me? You're also crazy." And then there's a madman nearby and said, "Wow, the joy comes too suddenly." Let me tell you, according to medical statistics, is that we all have some madness in us, but we are not out of range. There's a range that's normal, and going over, then you would be mad. So think about it. When you're angry, are you like a mad person? So you are mad for the short period of time when you're angry. Well, if you're calm, then you're within the range. But inside your brain, you think all kinds of stuff and all dirty and filthy things. But you can control them and you don't show them. That's the key point. You could control them. Actually, everybody have their own running thoughts. But if you can control them, and you can think of its cause and effect, and then you resolve the thoughts little by little, gradually you can become empty. Then you can become truly nothing to ask for. Then you can truly sit in forgetfulness. So it's not strange to have running thoughts occurring to you. Because we are normal people, so we would have this random thoughts. But the abnormal and the idiots would have no thoughts. The retarded have no more random thoughts. Mom said that for dinner there are 9 dishes and 1 soup. And you got home? What are you laughing at? Are you idiots? We got up. There was just a dish of chives, which sounded like 9 dishes, and a soup. So sometimes, let me tell you a story. There was a sage, a holy person, with a tin. And there was a rich man that's visiting this sage. And he asked him, "How do I maintain the everlasting joy?" So he sold all his properties and bought a bag of diamonds. And the sage, he came to see the sage, and the sage asked, why are you meeting me for? And he said, I'm very rich, but I'm still afflicted. I want to gain an everlasting joy. The sage didn't say anything. He just grabbed the bag of diamonds. The sage asked, what is it that you brought as offering to me? A box of diamonds. So the sage didn't say anything, just grabbed the bag and ran away. He was chasing after the sage. You know, usually the rich man is rather fat, rather heavy, so he couldn't catch up with the sage, and the sage disappeared. And they were entering into a woods, and there was a big tree, and the sage disappeared. So the rich man sat underneath the tree, crying, and the diamonds that were supposed to be offering gone. And then when he lifted his head, there was that bag of diamonds on the branch of the tree, and he took it down and opened it, and all the diamonds were still there, all of them complete. He was crying, and all of a sudden he laughs. He was happy. And then the sage came out and told him, the everlasting joy is not in laughing when you get and crying when you lose it, but if you have the mind of no gaining and no losing, then you would gain the everlasting joy. So if you have no thoughts of getting and no thoughts of losing, then you have the everlasting joy. So you would always be happy if you have no mind of gaining and losing. But if you laugh when you get and you cry when you lose, then let me tell you, in order to maintain an everlasting and stable happiness is to have the mind of no gain and no loss. This is very important. So if you have the mind of no gain and no loss, it's very easy for you to enter into meditation. Otherwise, it would be very difficult. If you lose something that you're supposed to lose, let them go. If you get something, there's no need to be so happy about it, because it's possible that you would lose it. So there's this legend from ancient China that the man lost the horse, and he was unmoved. Why aren't you sad that you lost your horse? And he said, well, it's okay. It's supposed to be, it's gone, it's gone. And then that horse brought a few more horses coming. And the neighbor asked, so now you got so many horses, you should be really happy. And he said, it's all the same. I still live, so I still continue to live, whether I lost the horse or now I got more horses. And one day, his son fell off the horse that he got and broke his leg, and he became a cripple, limping. And the man was still unmoved. And people said, see, your son rode on that horse and fell off, and now he was limping. Aren't you sad? Well, that's fate. So the man was still the same. And then there was a war, and all normal, well men had to join the war, and they all died in the war. And the man was still unmoved. So all the women in the village married to this cripple. So this is between the gaining and losing, gaining and losing, and gaining and losing again, and gaining and losing again. And yet this man still maintained a very stable and calm mind. He wasn't happy when he get, and he wasn't sad or grieving when he lost. And he was always joyful no matter what. And the son married all the girls of the village because the other men all died. So the man had many children and grandchildren. So Grandmaster's mindset is as stable as this man. If you can maintain this kind of stable mind, then it's very easy for you to enter into meditation. One day, a turtle was stung by a bee. This is play of words of Chinese. So with whatever cause, there would be its effect. Whatever the cause, that would be the result. A new female employee asked the old senior, how can we get promoted fast? And the old employee said, well, put on heavy cosmetics, shorter skirts, and a lower neckline, then that would work. And the lady asked, what position can I reach with this? If you're lucky, then you would become the wife of the boss. So this is talking about cause and effect. But let me tell you, if you worry about a lot of things, that at this warm appearance of pre-practice, there are lots of thoughts would appear. But if you don't care too much about things, then lots of these random thoughts would disappear. Recently, I often read the talk transcription of Acts. So I talk about Acts all the time. So I finally reach the result of this peak of this practice. This is the peak of the Mahatara. That my eyes just focus on one point. And that one point is X.